Hey Eurovision fans, today I'm doing my deep dive analysis of the Luxembourg Song Contest, that's Luxembourg's national final. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the lineup, who I think could potentially win, then we're going to look at my top 7 and the community top 7. So, let's kiki. Hi, I'm Tom, I'm an Irish Eurovision analyst and you can find all of this stuff on my Eurovision channel. So in case you didn't see, I already did my reaction to all 7 songs here in this video. Sorry this analysis video is a little bit late, it's Christmas. And also I'm sick. I'm taking a lot of medication right now to get through this video, so I need to get it done before the medication wears off. Ideally in future, I'll always have these analysis videos 1 or 2 days out after the reaction video. Okay, so first of all, let's get my general thoughts about Luxembourg Song Contest 2025. First of all, 7 songs. I really like that number. Luxembourg kind of knowing their limitations, not going too big, not giving us 45 songs like Lithuania are. I think 7's a good number for them. I feel like we've got a little bit of variety here, not too much, but it's a nice small national final. I do like the bigger national finals as well, but it's nice to have a smaller one. It's easier to consume, it takes up less time, and you can kind of give more attention to each song and kind of hear the nuances of it when you aren't washed out by 10 other songs that sound the same. This is our 2nd year of the Luxembourg Song Contest. I think this is a bit better than last year. I went through a lot of the comments on my YouTube video and also on Twitter, and it seems 50-50. Some people seem to prefer, some people preferred last year. Personally, I feel like the lyrics are still very weak. I don't expect to go to the Luxembourg Song Contest to see strong lyrics, apart from one song this year, which I'll talk about later. Overall, it is one of the more generic national finals, but I feel more of an identity this year. I do feel a growth and development in this national final. Last year, I didn't have any downloads. This year, I think I'm probably going to get 2 or 3. So me personally, I enjoyed it a lot more. I'm very conscious of the fact that I've just come from doing 4 very, very long national finals. So doing a national final with only 7 songs for me felt completely luxurious. So I wonder, was I in a good mood because of that? And then I saw everything through rose-tinted glasses. So yeah, maybe that was why I was so positive, but my gut feeling was that it was more enjoyable than it was last year. Another point about graphic design, I think the graphic design for Luxembourg Song Contest is okay. Definitely not as poppy, attention-grabbing as Benjamin Fest or Pesmazai Eurovision, who I think are the 2 that are kind of leading the way in terms of graphic designs. I think the graphics look fine, don't have much of an identity yet. I'd like to see them develop that a little bit further. Okay, so let's talk about who could potentially be winning the contest. And the first person I want to talk about is Laura Thorne. La poupée monte le son. Now, if you go and look at my reaction video, this has by far the most comments. Most of them positive, but it does seem to be the one that people are talking about the most. The majority of people are saying that they love it, it's interesting, they have some opinion on it. A couple of people are saying it's not for them or that they don't get it. At least it's what's living in their head rent free. This song is an homage to Poupée de Cirque, Poupée de Sang, which won for Luxembourg 60 years ago, 1965. So this is a really clever entry. Somebody left a comment saying that this was submitted last year. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but if it was, it's actually quite clever of them to keep the song and wait for next year, because it being on the 60th-year anniversary gives it an underlying storyline, which the commentators can talk about. I love the lyrics to this. It's very related to Poupée de Cirque, Poupée de Sang, which was written by Serge Gainsbourg and was a commentary on young artists singing songs written by older people, singing about life and love, despite the fact they hadn't experienced it themselves, and the kind of irony of that. And this song feels related to that. It's more about the doll, La Poupée, is independent. So the lyrics of Laura Thorne's song, very much feeling similar to Toy from Neda in 2018. That kind of like, I'm not your toy, female independence, I am my own person. Love the lyrics, absolutely brilliant. Now, I admit I'm not a native French speaker, so I can't pick out if the lyrics are stereotypical, which I can hear in English. So maybe I'm missing that. If you are a native French speaker, tell me down below, do they have any stereotypes or cliches in them? The other songs this year and last year I feel are very heavy on cliches and kind of meaningless lyrics that don't say very much. So this has such a wonderful identity to it. I love the homage to Luxembourg in the past. It feels nostalgic, but in a self-aware way. And this entry does so much work for me in creating a Luxembourg identity. Last year I complained that I got no identity whatsoever. This year, I'm starting to see it emerge, this kind of slightly twee, like nostalgic meets modern, old school Benelux Eurovision. That could be Luxembourg's identity. I'm really starting to get a feel for who Luxembourg are and what the Luxembourg Song Contest is as well. So this is doing so much work for me. I also feel like it's related to Fighter. I can hear the sisterhood between these two songs, and it actually elevates Fighter for me because I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get Luxembourg's sound now. So as a radio edit, I think this is the best choice for Luxembourg. Now, a lot of unknowns. What's Laura like live? Can't you pull it off? Staging concept for this could be anything. They could go for a real old school look with marionettes and face makeup and getting kind of theatrical. They might go for a more modern feel, giving us music video. There's so many options for this, which is exciting, but it also gives this an opportunity to really elevate or really flop live. Also, what's Laura like singing? This is quite difficult to sing, and some of the big notes at the end could really make or break. As excited as I am, I'm not putting all of my eggs into one basket in case all those eggs smash and we get a really crummy performance. I hope that they have picked Laura because she's able to pull this song off, because I really feel like this is a gem. It's got something special. I think young people, families will really, really like this. Very family friendly, but it has got some, I'm not going to say cool. This is not a cool song. Maybe accidentally cool in some parts. It feels like a guilty pleasure. Very enjoyable, very catchy. I've had it stuck in my head ever since I did that review. And I've also had Poupée de Cire, Poupée de Sang stuck in my head because I just feel like they're a mother-daughter relationship. Maybe grandmother, granddaughter. So I feel of all of the songs, this has the most potential. I feel if this is performed well and has cool visuals, very easy qualification. And actually could potentially do some damage in the final as well. Now that's a big if. The vocals have to be perfect. The performance, the characterization on the stage has to be really, really good, which is a big ask. So don't quote me saying this is coming top 10, but I think it has the core ingredients that it actually could do pretty well if they nail everything. In the same way that Constracta took Incorpore Sano, which as a radio edit probably wasn't something super safe, and she turned it into a top 5 song because she nailed the staging like perfection. You could not have done better staging for that song. This, I feel, has that same potential. I'm not saying this is coming top 5. I'm just saying it has a potential to be something interesting and a little bit of a wild card because it's kind of unique sounding. It's nostalgic, good, goofy. Okay, so let's talk about some of the other contenders. Another person I'm seeing is really popular is Luxembourg singing Je Danse. This totally caught me off by surprise. I thought we were going to get some kind of very standard song, and in the end we got something kind of experimental. Sarah Enchanted informed me that one of the songwriters is Linda Dale, who is a songwriter on The Code and also Queen of Kings. So you can kind of hear that slightly atypical sound that we heard in The Code in this song. Very, very risky. Again, huge if in how Luxembourg can interpret the song. Not just sing it, but interpret the persona on stage. What are the visuals going to be? I feel like there's a huge scope for this to really, really work and just pop and be a total disaster. So that's absolutely up to him and his team. But this is exciting as well. And like I said, if Laura flops or her staging doesn't work or it just doesn't come together on stage, I think there's other people who are going to have to step up, and Luxembourg feels to be one of those people. So those were the two that jumped out at me at this point in time, just based on the radio edit. We've got 5 other songs, so let's talk about those as well. Rafaela seems to be very popular in the kind of like girly bop fandom section. I don't think she's serving anything particularly original, but it is solid. It's fun to listen to. I enjoyed the song. And you know that she's going to be a good performer as well. So, you know, you've got these riskier entries that might fall flat, and then you might get someone like Rafaela coming in, super solid performance, vocals sound good, choreography is down, and then just by virtue of being the most put together performance, she could come through. I have to admit, I'm not getting anything particularly original about this. It sounds like a well-written Swedish song. Nothing against Swedish written songs, but I don't feel like that's building up the Luxembourg identity, which is what I want to see from Luxembourg this year. I feel like Laura Thorne and Luxembourg are singing songs that develop an identity more. But Rafa's been there before. She's going to have that experience. She's going to be more comfortable on stage. So definitely could be a bit of a backup of sorts if everyone else starts flopping. Oh, my legs are going numb. Oh, I'm kneeling on the ground. Let's power through. Another person I've seen getting a lot of love is Rhythmic Soul Wave. So on Twitter, I posted about how I wouldn't blame Luxembourg if they had internally selected Laura Thorne. A lot of people saying, hey, Rhythmic Soul Wave exists. That was actually probably the main person said would prefer as an alternative. Interesting. This song is very, very niche. I think that the staging is probably going to be pretty solid. I don't think we're going to get anything very surprising or wow. It's probably going to be them performing on stage, but it's niche enough that if you have some fans who absolutely love this, again, similar to Rafa, if some of the weirder entries flop, Rhythmic Soul Wave could just come in, be super, super solid. I hope they elevate a little bit because then they're increasing their chances of nabbing that spot to Basel. I don't resonate with this song at all. It's not the type of music I listen to. I think it's very easily listening, well put together. If they can come in and absolutely nail it, fair play to them if they win. I do feel that there's an element though of needing others to slip up. Okay, we might as well go through the entries. Mana giving us Human Eyes. This song really reminds me of Tusa voices, particularly that Human Eyes part. It sounds a little bit alternative, still with a pop feel as well. Again, can she elevate? I feel like there are these two weirder songs, and then I feel like everyone else is pretty solid. I feel like personally they're quite even to me, and if anyone really elevates, which I'm not expecting because last year I felt the staging was kind of predictable, who knows, someone might come with something super different this year. I think Luxembourg have a little bit of money for staging. I hope she really leans into how alternative this is and goes a little bit weird. I think that could be her special potion. We also have a 0.5 giving us a little bit of Jesus pop. I don't see this as a potential winner, but stranger things have happened. And we also have One Last Time Gambler song. A little bit disappointed that they didn't go a little bit thrashier, heavier. Do I prefer this more than last year? I feel like they're kind of even. Devil in the details. I feel they both got a little bit of a hook, but overall just being a little bit too basic. Okay, so that's my summary of the 7. Let's have a look at my top 7. I'll admit, my number 1 was so freaking easy to choose. My 2 and 3, everyone from 2 to 7, I have to admit, were quite close together. In the end, I decided to reward songs that I think have more potential and are a little bit more interesting. So as my number 3, I put Mana singing Human Eyes. I like how the sound of it, the chorus sounds quite complex. It sounds interesting. I feel like there's potential here to have some cool staging. She's talking about ghosts. She's talking about human eyes. Maybe she can have some cool visuals on stage, give us a bit of mysticism, some beautiful colors. Elevate, please. Give us something a little bit different. In my second place, I have Luxembourg singing Je Danse. Now, although this is not a song I'm super dying to download, I love how interesting and weird it is and a little bit jarring. So that excites me. And that's why I put it number 2, because I'm so interested to see how are they going to interpret this on stage. Huge potential here if they just nail something really wonderful on stage. And by far, my decades up, my number 1, I really want this to win, is La Poupée Mon Leçon. I love this. This builds Luxembourg's identity for me. It's so catchy. It's a guilty pleasure. It's goofy. It's wonderful. I love the lyrics talking about female empowerment in a really fun and interesting way, which doesn't sound like a cliche to me. Perhaps it is in French. I'm not sure. Really hoping that she performs as well. I would hate this song to lose because she gets nervous on stage or someone messes up the artistic direction. If they lose, I want it because someone else did something really amazing as opposed to this flopping. That would be so disappointing. We don't want Emma Circle of Light 2.0, please. But yeah, I think this is fantastic, has great potential. Oh wow, my legs are really going numb. I'm gonna have to wrap this up quite quickly. Let's have a look at the community rankings on the Eurovision scoreboard, and they agree number 1 is Laura Thorne. She's around 3,000 points ahead of Rafaela. Third place we have Luxembourg. Fourth place we have Mana or Mana. I'm going to say Mana for now. Fifth place with Rhythmic Soul Wave, but that's pretty much tied with Mana. And like I said, this has a lot of niche fans. So keep in mind, Eurovision scoreboard, you rank all the songs. It doesn't really give you an idea of how many first place a song has. In sixth place, we have One Last Time, and last place 0.5, the 2 bands. I agree. I don't think those 2 bands have a shot. There's nothing really that applies to me that they're going to come with something really wow in their staging. Let's go to Eurovision World and see who have people voted as their person they want to win the contest. In last place with 3%, One Last Time. We also have 0.5 with 3%, Mana with 4%, Rhythmic Soul Wave with 8% of people want them to win, Rafaela 15%, Luxembourg 18%, and 48% of people want Laura Thorne to deliver and go to Basel. With current information, we have to wait and see what the staging is. So yes, she's a big favorite there to win. Don't think we've got odds on this. No, we don't. Oh my god, my legs are so freaking numb. I got pins and needles in my legs. Oh. I also had a quick look at the rankings on Discord, and Laura Thorne is also winning that as well. So lots of support for Laura Thorne. Can she deliver? What can she do on this pretty nice stage? I assume the production is going to be pretty expensive looking this year. Just hope a few more people kind of think outside the box and give us something a little bit more exciting instead of giving a feel of slightly like trying to be Melfest Jr., giving us recycled ideas. Let's see a little bit more innovation this year, please. Okay, that is my analysis of the Luxembourg Song Contest 2025. My feet are full of pins and needles, so let's wrap it up. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting me on Buy Me Coffee and PayPal. And of course, thank you to all my wonderful patrons for patronizing me from all around the world. If you want to check out my Patreon, you can do a 1-week free trial. I'll leave a link in the description. But thank you so much just for being here, and I hope to see you in another national final analysis watch those videos very soon. Goodbye. Boop, 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 boop.